How much better do we think Spencer Rattler can look this week? They're going to have some healthy guys around him: Chris Olave, Taysom Hill, Cesar Ruiz, Lucas Patrick back on the offensive line. He's had 2 games to kind of go and show what he can do. Going to get a better look at him this week. How much different do you think it looks with a little bit of support?
Yeah, I'm really excited to watch him. Like, it's so funny. The excitement level of the unveiling of Spencer Rattler 2 weeks ago, we acted like it was draft week. I mean, we probably wrote more stories in a week than we ever have. And the fan base was the exact same way. And then he struggles, as expected, behind no offensive line with no receivers. And it's just like the noise has quieted down so much. But, like, I think it's going to be our best look yet at him. Not only does he have almost the entire offensive line in front of him, everyone except for Eric McCoy. He's not going to have Rashid Shaheed, but he's going to have a pretty full offensive arsenal around him. He's also got 10 days to prepare, and you spoke to him for a story everyone needs to check out on the website, but he made a reference to that. I mean, when he first got thrown into the fire, they got back from Kansas City on a Tuesday morning, and they were playing on Sunday, and they had a short, abbreviated practice week, a lot of walkthroughs. His second start was a Thursday game, so it was nothing but walkthrough. This is like the first time he's gone through like a full practice week in his career. So, not to mention just learning from 2 starts, and this being his 3rd start with the experience of what went well, what didn't go well. I mean, this is going to be our best look yet at him. Maybe our last look, but our best look at him. I expect him to do the best he's done yet for all those reasons I just laid out, and I expect us to like actually formulate an opinion on him in this game.
Yeah, I mean, I think it should look a little bit different. One of the things I talked to him yesterday, had a little conversation with him. One of the things he did point out, though, is that this is the first time he's going to be playing with a lot of these guys. So,
Sure.
Again, it's not like you walk out and you have years of chemistry and you're tapping back into it. He's still trying to figure out how to play with Taysom. He's never played behind these guys on the offensive line. Only had the 1 game with Olave, so there's going to be some time when you get down there. MVS will probably be playing a little bit this week. Valdez Scantling, that is. That's somebody he's never really thrown to in a game. So, I think there is still some challenge there. But obviously, if you got some opportunity to sit in the pocket a little bit more, that helps. He had 12 throws last week where the time to pressure was 2 seconds or less. It was the highest in the league. 5 was the other one. Part of that's the offensive line. Part of that's recognizing blitz, too, and knowing when you got to protect yourself. He's got to do a little bit of a better job at that. He told me that's something that he's really been working on this week, that they've been going through some different things with him on that. He wants to get a better feel for when to run, when not to run, when to kind of stay in there. He said there's been a few times where it's been a little bit too easy for him to try to just like rely on himself and take him outside of the play structure. So he needs to figure some of that stuff out. So there's some things he's trying to do a little bit better this week. There's a lot of stuff he's done well too, and I can't say that I know inside that building, like they do remain really high on him. Like they think he's done a lot of good things really well. It's a matter of a couple plays. I feel like if they can clean him up, like some of those games look different. But this is going to be the closest thing we've seen to him having a full strength, and it's the closest he's going to get. Eric McCoy's not able to come back, so. Yeah, I mean, I think it lends for a better opportunity for success.
I'm doing a great job with the cliche that we're always taught: don't get too high and don't get too low. I think I was the least over enthusiastic of what we saw in training camp in the preseason. I kind of felt like he showed a lot of great things, but I didn't think they had the next coming of Patrick Mahomes, who was going to be an instant star, and then his struggles behind the offensive line. I mean. You said he has to decide when to take off running. I certainly didn't see many opportunities where he shouldn't have taken off running. I mean, that pocket, especially in this last game, he never had 1 second to stay in that pocket. He never had a chance. So I also didn't get too discouraged by him. I kind of feel the same about Spencer Rattler now as I did before he ever started a game. I know a lot of the enthusiasm and excitement has diminished a little bit because he's proven that he's human. But I'm still high on him. I mean, we've still seen his ability to throw the ball. We've still seen his ability to move. We've still seen some poise. And we've also seen, he's a rookie with no experience whatsoever. And a lot of this stuff is gonna take years to come around. So I'm not surprised at all to hear that the people inside the building are still high on him. I don't think it would be fair for these 2 games to take that away.
Yeah, I mean, one of the things we were saying, too, is that it would have been impossible for anyone to succeed under them circumstances. And even going back to the Chiefs game,
Yeah.
Like that was an impossible circumstance too. Like just playing behind that line in the state it was in, but was really tough. I think that maybe they got a handful of guys that you're okay with maybe putting like one into a game, but when
Yeah.
it's three of them at the same
Oh.
time, like that's a tough spot to be in. I do think that like when they come out of this, you probably feel a little bit better about the offensive line depth because now you've seen some of these guys in there, but in a one guy situation, like if it's three at once, like you are
and you're
absolutely
acting
screwed.
like there were. I'm not acting. You know, but a reminder. You're talking about the three people in the middle, and that's like pretending like the tackles were okay. The tackles are still Talifuaga and Trevor Penning, who are not sure thing known commodities either. It's not like they had Ramczyk and Armstead at tackle and just the whole line was a question
whole
mark.
line. Yeah, so I'm excited to see what he can do. I think Alvin's going to probably have a better game this week because the line's going to be a little bit healthier. Still want to see Lucas Patrick play a little better. Want to see Cesar Ruiz play a little bit better. Want to see Connor McGovern, who we're assuming will probably be at center, play a little bit better.
McGovern center, Patrick left guard. That just makes the most sense that Saldivary's out. So
yeah, so handful of things that are going to be working on his side. I still don't think they have good enough receivers. It still feels like one guy in a bunch of question marks, but we'll see. He at least has a chance, I think, this week to maybe stand in there a little bit, get through his reads, not feel uncomfortable. To his credit, though, he's never looked uncomfortable. The only real fault I have with him, the only thing I don't like that we saw from him that we didn't necessarily know before is that, and this was another thing he talked about, so it's not like he's unaware of it, and it's not like he isn't working on it, but there was maybe a little bit too much trying. I don't want to say like hero ball, but when things went bad, like trying to avoid a negative play and not necessarily just getting to the next play, as he said. Just get to the next play. Like, don't create a turnover. Don't try to throw. Like, just take the sack. Like, it's okay. Like, it's okay to take a sack. And
there have been a couple terrible moments of that. Yeah, where like turnovers are turned for touchdowns because I don't want to use the word panic either, but like it's not panic. It's I can salvage this.
Yeah, the one thing
don't
about
try
him,
to salvage it.
The one thing about him is I don't think I've ever seen panic, and that's kind of the craziest thing about him. But yeah, it's the. Well, I can get rid of the ball and not. Yeah. And I don't think that's a fatal flaw. I think it's just like, hey, don't do this. And, sure, like you might get back in one of those moments and it might happen again. But I think, just a few times with play, like, hey, don't do this, don't do this, don't do this, you stop, and, like, that gets fixed. So I don't think it's a huge thing. I haven't seen anything that I feel like is a super fatal flaw, like just seeing the blitz a little bit better, like not making some of those plays. And who knows, like maybe he'll do a little bit better on those two fronts this weekend and have that positive momentum going back into, hopefully they get Carr back soon, and that starts with the Carolina game.